Yo, 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 ladies and gentlemen and ladies, I hope you are doing well. As you can see from the thumbnail, I've been much better, but before we get into all that, I need to tell you a few things. Tomorrow night at midnight is your last chance to get in on the giveaway that @KPoo and I are doing on Instagram. I'll leave a link to everything down in the description, so if you want in on that, make sure to get in there. Again, August 29th at midnight is your last shot. And number two, I'm gonna be doing another show off your build video. You guys have been asking for it, so I'm gonna do it again. If you wanna take part in that, make sure to send me your pictures and video at 717_project on Instagram and just 717project on Facebook. Now, if you're gonna send me some video, do me a favor, don't send it to me like this. If you send it to me like that, I'm not gonna put it in. But if you send it to me like this, it's much better quality. Now, Instagram and Facebook already dumb it down, so if you send it to me like this, it'll be much better. So try to send that to me within the next couple weeks because that video will be after the next 2 install videos. And then thirdly, before we get into the video, my daughter Hannah has something she'd like to tell you.
Okay, everybody. So, I have been tasked with opening the video for you today because I did a bad deed. I drove next to a curb and bad things happened. So, as you can see, the curb took off the side skirt here. Not looking good. Shredded it up. Then took a little gouge here out of the tire. If you can see it. Not really good with this camera. Back part looks good still. Front part's still pretty good. That looks really bad. We already ordered a brand new side skirt. Let's check the front. Front looks good. I only hit the back part really. So I swear it didn't feel like I hit anything, but I heard a really bad noise. So I stopped and I got out and I saw it was not good. And I picked up the sides, the stuff that was on the floor. My little pieces of stuff here. Screws still intact. Ripped it right off. Yep. Not good. Not good at all. Note to self. Stay away from all curbs, even though they're basically everywhere. But they're my nemesis because they're everywhere and I usually hit them. But we'll do better next time. Okay.
Now, she's only 22 years old. She's only been driving for 2 years. But if you think that a curb is your nemesis, why would you go anywhere near a curb, right? So she did a pretty good job on showing you the damage. Let me get you a little bit closer. So we'll start with the wheel. There is a pretty big chunk taken out. And then right here on the tire, there's a nice little tear. It's not bad, holds air, no big deal. Now we get to the side skirt. It is all chunked off the whole way up here. I mean, look at it. Just look at it. And then you can see the factory side skirt, right? Now when she was showing you the pieces, you saw that big screw, right? Yeah, that was attached to the factory side skirt. I need to jack it up and see how much damage that's done underneath. Now I can say, I actually thought it would have been a lot worse than this. So whenever I get the side skirt off, I'll probably just put that back in place, let it go. You're not gonna see it unless the side skirt gets taken off again. There's a little chip out of there. But other than that, it's not bad. Not bad at all. I think that new skirt should slide right over top of that damage. It wouldn't have a problem. But wouldn't it be cool if the 23s looked like this? Now we know what the 23 Type R is gonna look like. The only thing we don't know is the horsepower and the price. Now, if I had to guess, horsepower will be roughly the same, and the price point will probably be roughly the same, not counting markup. But I wanna talk to you guys about what I think will change in the 23 model Civic, because for those of you who don't know, Honda has generations of their cars. Most generations run 5 years. This is the first year of the 11th generation Civic. So usually after the first year, they do change a couple things, tweak a couple things, not drastically, very little. So I'm gonna talk to you guys about what I think is gonna change in a 23 Civic. Let's start under the hood. The 2.0 liter and the 1.5 turbo will stay the same throughout the generation. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the 2.0 liter and the 1.5 turbos are from the 10th generation. So the drivetrain will stay the same till the end of the 11th generation. Now, from what I'm hearing, and I hope I'm hearing incorrectly, I hope, please, that Honda wants to be all EV by 2027, which means this will be the last generation of the 2.0 liter and the 1.5 turbo. Let's hope they're wrong. Let's hope they're wrong. On the interior, now I have already done a bunch of trim pieces and the steering wheel and all that stuff. Honda probably won't change very much on the interior at all. They might change the vents up a little bit. They might change the trim up a little bit, but very little. Now there are two things that I really hope they fix for the 23. The dash rattle. I hear it from all of you who own them. The dash rattle is insane. Now for me, I just turn the volume up. I don't hear it at all. I recommend you guys do the same because I have no idea what that rattle is. If you guys know what it is, let me know in the comments. Now some of you have it. If you live in a different country like Canada and I think some other countries, you have a temperature gauge. But most of us here in the US do not. Luckily, the 23 Type R, we know for a fact will have a temperature gauge. We've already seen the infotainment system. Now it would actually be kind of cool if Honda did the infotainment system similar, not exact, but similar to what they did in the Type R, just because it actually looks a lot better. I don't see Honda changing much more on the interior. In fact, the seat cloth and all that is pretty much from the 10th Gen too. Even the pattern is similar. When it comes to the exterior of the car, the chassis will stay the same. Nothing will change. The only thing I think they might change is they might add some door moldings to the doors, which they did on the 10th Gen. Just in case you didn't know, they do sell aftermarket door moldings for these cars. I don't think they come painted, so you would have to have that done, but I just wanted to make you aware of it. Now, when it comes to the rear cover on the car, the only thing I think they might change is they might change the rear diffuser on it, maybe make it look a little sportier throughout, whether it's a sport or not, because the 10th Gen had all those fillers, and from what I heard, they wanted to get away from all that, have a nice clean look in the back, and I think they achieved it. Now, you're probably thinking, Miller, you haven't really said anything changing. Well, that's because I don't think much is gonna change, except for the front bumper. I think the front bumper is gonna change quite a bit, actually. And the reason I think that is because of the 23 Type R. The front end of that car just looks a little bit different. And yes, I know the vents for the brakes, but they could use that for all trim levels and just throw DRLs in them and get rid of those fake fog lights on these models. I don't know why they do that. So many people think they have fog lights and they don't. Plus, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that SI has a little sleeker nose. Let me know in the comments below, but I think that's the case. And I wish they would just take the honeycomb grills throughout all trim levels. I'm really interested to see how wrong or right I am. I could be right about some, could be wrong about others. Only time will tell. But before I go, I need to ask you guys a question. I have had this chip for like 2 or 3 months from a recommendation from one of you, but I have been extremely hesitant on putting it in the car. Have any of you dealt with Thornton chip tuning before? Have you had any issues? Is it good? One of the reasons why I bought it was because it was only 90 bucks. And I know K-Tuner and Hondata are like $500-600, and it's supposed to give you 60 horsepower. So they have a 20 horsepower chip, a 40 horsepower chip, and a 60 horsepower chip. And you know me, I'm going for the 60. They say it takes roughly 200 miles to learn how you drive before it actually gives you the power. But what happens when you unplug it? Is there problems? Because I'm really curious, but I'm really hesitant on putting it in. So let me know in the comments below if you have ever dealt with this. And maybe you'll see me plug it in a future video. This is the last reminder. The 11th Gen Civic taillight giveaway ends tomorrow night at midnight, August 29th. If you want in on it, link is in the description. And don't forget, I'm doing another show off your build video. So if you want in on that, make sure to send me your pictures or video at 717_project on Instagram or just 717project on Facebook. Do you accept Hannah's apology? Let me know in the comments below. I want to know your thoughts on the differences between the 22 and the 23 Honda Civics. If you know anything about that Thornton chip tuning chip, leave me a comment or send me a message. All links to all the mods on blue are in the description, and you know what to do if you enjoyed. And as always, this was your boy Miller. You're really gonna love the next one.